Candace Gets Busted is one of, if not the most hated Phineas and Ferb episode. The only episodes I can think of that are around as hated as this one are Mission Marvel, which I'm not much of a fan of, and the second musical Cliptastic Countdown, which I don't even remember much of and can't even rewatch because for some reason it's not on Disney+, even though the first Cliptastic Countdown is, but Disney Plus has a lot of problems. They still haven't fixed the fact that the version of Summer Belongs to You on there isn't the full version. The only thing I remember about the second Cliptastic Countdown is the fact that before the episode aired, Disney Channel revealed where every song ended up except for the top two through the commercials. They had an ad showing the final two songs, and then I was going to watch the episode the next day, but when it was airing, someone turned on the TV and I walked past it and saw what number 2 was. But when I actually watched it, I already knew everything. Anyway, I was talking about Candace Gets Busted. Which I understand the hate towards, but personally, I don't think it's that bad, and honestly, I do enjoy watching it. For those of you who don't remember the episode, I'll quickly explain it. Candace's parents are leaving for the weekend and tell her she can have a few friends over but no parties. So what does she do? Does she pull a Roderick, disobey her parents, and throw the wildest party you can have with a PG rating? No, she just has a few friends over. However, Jeremy and his band want to come over, and Candace reluctantly lets them. But she tries to make it clear it's not a party, but soon hundreds of people come, despite her best efforts to not let them in. It becomes a bigger and bigger party, getting more and more out of her control. She tries to say it's not a party, but her parents find out and are on their way home. But as they're coming back, the party disappears. Hooray! All is right with the world and everything is hunky-dory. Or so she thinks. Then the party reappears and she gets wrongfully punished for something that isn't her fault. So I definitely see the problem here. Candace gets punished for something that isn't her fault. So she gets punished for doing nothing wrong, and it's kind of just a downer of an ending. Candace is punished for something she didn't do, and also her parents missed their flight. I just don't really get what was trying to be done with this ending, because it would have been so easily fixed if the party didn't reappear. Or it did, but Candace was knowingly breaking the rules earlier in the episode, and believed that everything would turn out right for her like it does for her brothers. But because Phineas and Ferb don't think they're doing anything wrong, you don't want to see them get punished, but if Candace was knowingly doing something wrong and was being super arrogant, thinking nothing will go wrong, her getting punished at the end wouldn't be a problem. But the way the episode was written, it just feels like the universe is against her.
The whole universe is against me.
Phineas and Ferb do something wrong without knowing, and they always somehow get out of trouble. And Candace does something wrong accidentally and does everything in her power to try and stop it from happening and try and fix it, but she still ends up getting in trouble.
Sorry if there's a noticeable downgrade in audio quality, but I was editing the video and realized another way this episode could have worked. In the song, Candace makes an effort to point out that it is in fact her party when people call it Phineas and Ferb's party.
But if it were a party, it would not be their party, it would be my party.
Which, if they went further with this idea, it could have made her getting punished make sense. Like it's something she did to herself, like the episode of SpongeBob Lost Mattress, where Squidward ends up needing to help get Mr. Krabs' mattress back because he took credit for giving him the new mattress, despite not actually being a part of it. Basically, he tried to take credit for it when he thought the repercussions for it would be positive despite actually having nothing to do with it. And when the repercussions ended up being negative, he had to deal with the consequences. In fairness, Candace trying to make it clear it's her party did come back in the end because two people chant Candace party when her parents come home, but she only says it's her party during the song and never again for the rest of the episode. So this idea doesn't feel like it was expanded on enough to actually work. Maybe the episode could have also worked if the party was still an accident, but Candace wanted credit for it once everyone was having a good time, and embraced it being a party, and then her punishment would have felt deserved. But as it stands, it's just another possible way this episode could have worked that wasn't expanded on enough.
So, I was trying to think why I still like the episode despite all this. One reason I thought was maybe because I still remember watching it the night it aired and just have nostalgia for it, but I watched Make Play the same night and I don't really care for that one. And I think there are actually a few good aspects to this episode beyond just nostalgia. One of these good aspects is of course the song. It's pretty good, however, it's nothing especially great, and I do think it's a bit overrated. And there are many songs in the show that are a lot better, but it's still a very good song, and good enough to bring up the episode a bit. Another thing that brings the episode up a bit is the animation. This show is best known for its bright colors, as most of the episodes take place on nice sunny days. And while that always looks perfectly fine, I always loved how episodes like Out of Tune and especially Night of the Living Pharmacist look, because I just love the look of night scenes in this show. And this episode almost entirely takes place at night, and I just love how it looks. But I think the main savior of this episode is mainly just that it is funny. While there are some pretty good jokes in the main storyline, the funniest and best part of the episode is the subplot with Perry and Doofenshmirtz. It's one of, if not the best of their subplots, because it's one of the funniest storylines of the entire show. It has so many great jokes in it, from the fact that he's moving an entire building instead of just moving his chair over to another window, his dry cleaning wheel and his reaction to it, his line to Vanessa at the end. This storyline is so great that I've rewatched the episode many times just for these scenes. Honestly, I feel like this episode overall is a pretty good episode if you just turn off your mind and don't really think about how Candace didn't deserve to get punished, or how the
security system takes control of Squidward's house and begins attacking the city.
As that's the only real problem I see with the episode. And I had no problems with it when I was a child and didn't think about things at all. I think the comedy in both the main storyline and especially the subplot makes the episode perfectly enjoyable to watch. And if you haven't seen it in a while, I'd recommend taking another look at it, knowing that the main storyline has this bad ending to it, because you might be able to get past that and see the great comedy this episode has to offer. If the episode had a better main storyline, I could have seen this episode being loved, because I do believe Perry and Doofenshmirtz's storyline is one of the funniest in the entire show. And you may find a new appreciation for the episode if you rewatch it. But please don't think while doing that.